Hey, it's the Indie Corner, though arguably we are dealing with that contradictory term made up by the press in the last couple of decades called alternative mainstream. So, music with a mainstream appeal or that broke into the mainstream, but originally came from an alternative scene. Today, an alternative scene in Greater Manchester, UK. The part of your body you can't lick yourself. It's elbow. I am talking about Elbow's fifth studio album today. It was the first one of theirs I ever heard in full, and this one takes us back into childhood and growing up in Greater Manchester, as this album overall taps into the themes of nostalgia and reflecting one's own childhood and roots. So, this time it probably makes a deeper sense to first look a bit into the band's history and where they are coming from. Founding members Guy Garvey and guitarist Mark Potter were teenagers when they met in 1990 at school. Potter already was in a band with drummer Richard Jupp and bassist Pete Turner, but they were looking for a singer. These four became the band Mr. Soft and started playing gigs at pubs and little clubs around Manchester. In 1997, they changed their name to Elbow, allegedly taken from a piece of dialogue from the BBC series The Singing Detective. The band signed with Island Records after they had won a local battle of the bands and recorded a first album, which, however, was never released. Reason for that was that Universal bought Island Records shortly after and dropped numerous bands. But Elbow were not to be disheartened and instead released 3 EPs on an independent label. They eventually were signed by V2 Records, where their official debut album, Asleep in the Back, appeared in 2001. The follow-up, Cast of Thousands, was released in 2003. The album didn't chart but gained critical acclaim and put the band on the map as melancholic post-Britpoppers. Elbow had their subsequent tour of Cuba documented on film. Their third full-length album followed in 2005. Leaders of the Free World was self-produced. Yet, the band's real breakthrough happened with album number 4, The Seldom Seen Kid from 2007. It went to number 5 in the UK charts, won Elbow the highly acclaimed Mercury Prize, and sold over 1 million copies. The 2 singles, One Day Like This and Grounds for Divorce, won Ivor Novello Awards for Best Song and Best Contemporary Song, respectively. Elbow also became renowned for their great and emotional live shows, often performing with choirs and/or orchestras. A return back to his old neighborhood in Bury, Great Manchester, inspired frontman Guy Garvey to a lot of the lyrics for the band's next album, Build a Rocket Boys. From 2011, this album comes with a simplistic, naive-looking cover artwork by Mancunian, I think that's the right word in this case, a Mancunian artist, graphics designer, comic artist, Oliver East, who had already designed the cover artwork for Elbow's predecessor hit album, The Seldom Seen Kid. I very much like the colors here, that slightly cold but also somehow innocent blue, and that simple figure that seems to be jumping or reaching out for something. It all has an innocent charm about it that maybe also is meant to evoke the feeling of childhood drawings. The opening track, The Birds, definitely is not something childlike. An epic, slowly building track of over 8 minutes with a mantra-like vocal line, a groovy organ-led break in the middle, and a sweeping romantic crescendo with strings, or rather a mellotron sound at the end. What are we gonna do with you? Same tale every time. What are we gonna do with you? Come on inside. Looking back is for the birds. A song like a riddle about a love lost. Elbow boldly lead us into this album with their version of modern progressive rock, or rather art rock. I pretty much think this song is a masterpiece.
Looking back is for the birds.
Yeah, even my cat likes a song about birds, of course. And the band follows that with the second longest song on the album, also the unofficial title track, because it features the line Build a Rocket Boys. Lippy Kids. A very sustained and anthemic, but for the most part also quiet song with a choir in the background and the sonic focus on Guy Garvey's voice. It's a bittersweet reflection of one's youth and the confidence and freedom of your teenage years. It's a gorgeous track, but an unlikely choice for a single, demonstrating that Elbow didn't want to go down the predictable road and repeat the sound of One Day Like This and simply churn out samey alternative mainstream hits. Lippy Kids is the album's key track. When the choir and the guitar join together for a particularly beautiful chord progression, it's a really moving piece of music.
Do they know those days are golden? Build a rocket, boys. Build a rocket, boys. One long tune.
Things get more rhythmic with track 3. With Love also is a good example of Guy Garvey's strong northern accent. The song was made for audience participation, provided they get the clapping right. You get the choir again and another song constructed with interwoven and repeating lines and sections. It's always been a bit baffling to me that this one wasn't chosen as a single, since it's the most immediate song on the album, at least in my opinion.
These adventures will fill your eyes with more. With more.
And now Elbow get out the rock instrumentation for Neat Little Rose. A livelier, a bit edgier, maybe darker track with a soaring yet slightly dramatic chorus and pounding drums. In the lyrics, the themes of memories, childhoods, and one's personal roots are most obvious as Garvey sings about cobblestone roads, terraced houses, and working class childhood. This more alternative rock sounding track also was the first single from the album.
Lay my bones in the cobblestone. Lay my bones in neat little rows. Lay my bones in the cobblestone.
The album goes on with the sparse, low-key acoustic Jesus is a Rochdale Girl, the first song Guy Garvey wrote for the album, and that one also gave him the thematic direction for Build a Rocket Boys. The track only consists of acoustic guitar and a sprinkling of e-piano or Fender Rhodes. A youth memory of a friend that Garvey shared time with listening to music in her house. It's an affectionate look back at maybe a banal yet personally important situation from one's formative years. The album stays in that low-key mood and even becomes truly nocturnal with the next cut, The Night Will Always Win. This is a cross between a lullaby and a lament. Again, Garvey's passionate yet never over-the-top vocals are at the center, accompanied by a pulsing retro keyboard sound. The song is dedicated to a friend from Manchester who had suddenly died a few years prior to this recording. There is always something warm and emotional to Elbow songs, even when they are sad. High Ideals is not about the night, but age always winning. The ideals of youth, but also the reckless energy, disappear when middle age takes over. The song has got a smart groove, but also strings and trumpets, probably to make it more pleasant for comfortable middle-aged listeners. I like the track. And if, as a middle-aged listener, you maybe feel a little bit depressed by now, the next track, The River, won't exactly raise the spirits. It's, again, a piano ballad, a very melancholic, pensive song with a soft choir singing in the background. And whilst also very beautiful, maybe this is the least striking track on the album. Yet next up is a track that really embraces the listener. Open Arms is a reeling fast waltz with a soaring chorus, once more backed up by the Halle Youth Choir. With a bit of a tongue-in-cheek manner, this song is about the place one calls home or family that you can always come back to. No matter how important or successful you might be in the outside world, they will always put you in your place, but also give you space to be just the way you really are. The whole band is in action here. This was an obvious choice for a single, and it's a really great track.
'Cause everybody's here. We got open arms for broken hearts like yours, my boy. Come home.
What follows is a short, idiosyncratic reprise, or is it reprise, of The Byrds, with the lyrics this time sung by a man called John Mosley with an older, slightly shaky, frail voice. It turns out he was a piano tuner. Accompanied by only humming choir voices, the mysterious, gigantic album opener now turns into the bittersweet memory of an elderly man looking back. Maybe a bit of an odd moment on the album, but I somehow like it. Everything is eventually wrapped up in the more guitar-based mellow Dear Friends, a final heartfelt ode to home and the friends that make the place we come from our home. It's got a sound that you can find on, say, the earlier Coldplay albums, or also sometimes in the music of fellow Manchester indie rockers, Duffs. Old friends, you stuck a pin in the map I was in, and you are the stars I navigate home by. I think this is all very relatable and a heartwarming ending to the album.
Dear friends, you are angels and drunks, you are nature. Oh.
Build a Rocket Boys was quite a seller in Britain, where it reached number 2 of the UK album charts. Critics also were very much in favor of this album, which makes some deliberately artsy choices but never becomes self important or too experimental for its own good or the Elbow fan base. Despite several quiet and sparse moments and a clear emphasis on Guy Garvey's role as the singer, Build a Rocket Boys feels like a band effort that was carefully arranged and produced. This entire record lacks a loud, uptempo rocker or a straightforward hit single that you would maybe expect from this kind of post Britpop groups, but it doesn't need to have one to make it a brilliant album. Build a Rocket Boys is very nuanced and has got a musical depth that is enhanced by a thoughtful production. This is an album I recommend to both type of listeners: rock and indie fans who don't need their rock music to be all heavy guitars all the time, and non-rock listeners who don't mind trying out a modern rock band. An absolutely worthwhile and interesting album. And if that really turns out not to be your cup of tea at all, the band also had their own Build a Rocket Boys ale brewed. I haven't had a chance to taste it, but here's to hopefully a lot more Murdoch music minutes. Cheers. Yeah. Cheers.